Hello everybody, this is Sherry at djsundry.blogspot.com. Welcome to the Gettin' Cricky Simply Sunday Challenge. The theme this week, I'm sure you've already figured out, is Fantasyland. And so I was trying to come up with an idea of something that I could do for a Fantasyland, and I thought of chocolate fantasies. Now, I have a sister-in-law whose birthday's coming up in a few weeks, and she really likes chocolate. She's been to the Hershey, Pennsylvania chocolate factory, and she just really likes chocolate and hot chocolate. And so I decided I was going to make a card about chocolate for her birthday. So I found some papers that I had in my stash. I have this cream color base. I think this is going to be our base for our card. And then I have these two papers as well that I picked up. I don't even know where I picked this up from. Somewhere, maybe a scrapbook closeout or something. This one has little miniature Hershey's bars, and this one's full of chocolate kisses. And I'll probably use one of those papers in it as well. And then this one is a paper from Making Misery. It's called the Cosmopolitan Slimming Stripes Pink, and I think it's an old, I don't know if it's an older paper. It's one I've had in my stash for quite a while. And actually my daughter likes pink and brown and turquoise and brown, and just likes brown with things, and this may have been some I picked up for her, but she just said it was fine. And then I'm going to be using this chocolate brown ribbon from Three Girls Jam. I think will match. And then I have all sorts of stamp sets here that I'm going to play with. I'm going to be using the Coffee and Tea Treats Tag Along, the Crafty Friends, the Winter Wishes, the Coffee and Tea for You and Me, and even the Christmas Bonus stamp set, all from K. Andrew Designs. So I'm going to take a break, I'm going to get my paper cut, and I'll be back to finish off the card. Hello everybody, I'm back, and I've actually done most of the card already, and I just wanted to quickly walk you through what I've done, and then I'll show you the point that I'm at right now, and then we'll finish it off together. Now, this stripe paper that I chose is actually double-sided paper. This pink color in the stripe is the color of the back of the card, and I decided I was going to double mat my card. So I took a piece of this and I cut it at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I put that down as my mat. And then I cut another piece of it, only this time I wanted to use the stripe side, and I wanted it to be sure and be horizontal stripe, vertical stripes instead of horizontal stripes. So what I did is then I cut this at 3 3/4 by 5 inches so that I could have a second mat. And then I took another piece of this, and at 3 3/4 inches wide by about 3 1/2 inches wide, by about 1 3/8 inches wide, I cut another pink piece. And then I took my corner chomper, I have this Crocodile corner chomper, and using the 3-inch side, I corner rounded all of those pieces. Now they'll make more sense when I show it to you in just a minute. Then I took another piece of paper, and I decided this time I was going to go with the Hershey's Kisses instead of the chocolate bar. And I took a piece of the Hershey's Kisses paper, and I cut it at 3 3/4 inches wide by 2 1/2 inches tall. Now, it doesn't matter which way it goes because they're in every different direction anyway. So I use that as my mat. And then I also took some extra Hershey's Kisses, and I cut them out, and I've mounted 3 of them on phone tape, and I'm going to show you when I put those on the card. So let's go to the inside of the card. For the inside of the card, I took a piece of the striped paper, and I cut it at 4 1/8 inches wide by 3 inches tall. And then I cut just another little tiny strip at 4 1/8 inches wide by 1/2 inch tall, and ran it across the top. And this is where I started having fun with the stamps. First of all, I took one of the Hershey's Kisses and I cut it out. I didn't put this one on foam tape. I just ran this through my sticker maker. And then I started having fun with the stamps. I inked around the edge, the outer edges of this using the Gathered Twigs Distressing, just because I liked it was a good match for the chocolate fill. And then I took actually 3 sets of stamps. I took this little bonus set that was free, and it might still be available. You'll just have to check it out. And it was the Christmas set, but as you can see, I didn't use it for Christmas. And from that, I took Sweet. And then from the Coffee and Tea for You and Me, I took Birthday. And then from Winter Wishes, I took the word wishes, and I set it all up on my acrylic block. I don't know how well you can see it, so I'll put this pink behind it. You really can't see it, but I set it up carefully on my grid until it was all straight the way I wanted it, and then I just pressed it down to the bottom, and it says Sweet Birthday Wishes. Kind of goes along with the fantasy idea a little bit. I know I'm stretching here. And then this is the way the outside turned out. I took from Bloggy Friends or Crafty Friends, I took Who Needs Real Life, I Have, and then after that it said the internet. Well, I masked off the word internet, and I inked up my stamp, and I learned how to do this by watching one of my design team sisters, Faith. She showed me how to do this on another video that she did. So after you ink up your stamp, then you pull off the tape so that the smudges that are on the tape, if you don't do that, let me show you what happens. I did it just because I was practicing to make sure I had it masked correctly, and you can see you have all the smudges on the tape. So you want to pull off that tape, and so that's where I got this phrase, Who Needs Real Life, I Have. And as I said, that was from Crafty Friends, and this is this big one, Who Needs Real Life, I Have the Internet. And I just masked off the internet, and I stamped down Who Needs Real Life. And then I took Coffee and Tea Treats Tag Along, and I pulled the chocolate, and I put the chocolate on there. And then I inked around the edges, and this is the piece that I corner rounded, and I inked around the edges of all of these. I inked around the edges of the creamy color, and of the pink color, and then of this matte. And then I just adhered those together, and then I tied this nice chocolatey bow from my 3 Girl Jam chocolate. I think it's called Hot Chocolate Ribbon. So now let's see where we're going to put these little kisses, and that just adds a little bit of punch and dimension. I think I'm going to use those right like that, and this one I was reserving for that blank spot up by I Have. I thought that would be perfect. There we go. If you've never masked stamps before, it's really not that difficult. It just takes a little bit of time. And like I showed you, I practiced on that to make sure I had masked off the whole thing correctly, and I discovered I hadn't. And so then realized I had to remove some of the tape that I had actually used. And I just used plain old Scotch tape. I have my office roll of Scotch tape sitting here on the desk, and that's what I use to mask off my image. So now I have a little bit of extra dimension, giving those a little bit of extra pop, and there's a little bit of shine on the edge of the kisses, and I don't know how well the light picks it up, but we could play off of that shine just a little bit, and maybe I will. And let me grab my Glossy Accents. Haven't used it in a couple weeks, so let me make sure that it's going to be running clear for me. Every time I open up my Glossy Accents, I have to run a pen through it, even though I'm pretty good about keeping it capped. Let me just practice on this little piece. Okay, there we go. And I think I'm just going to go just along the edge here, and just add that little punch of shine. I think in this one I'll just do it right, maybe across this edge right here. There we go, and one, let's see, let's go on the inner edge here. I'm going to have to get my pen out again. I really like Glossy Accents, but it does tend to get a little bit clogged. There we go. I think on this one I'm going to go across the bottom. Now you won't, right now it looks cloudy, but it won't stay cloudy. It will be nice and shiny, and just add just that little extra sparkle to it. So, who needs real life? I have chocolate. And then on the inside, sweet birthday wishes. So I think my sister-in-law is going to like this card. I hope she doesn't see it before her birthday, but if she does, she'll know what's coming her way. So thanks for watching, and thanks for joining in on the Getting Cricky Fantasyland Challenge today. Have a great day.